Welcome to Slash Forward. In this episode, we're going to brace ourselves as we take revenge in the 2010 film I Saw the Devil. For more content that makes you feel uncomfortable in your own skin, subscribe to the channel. Let's get to it. We open on a van driving slowly in the snow, passing a young woman waiting for a tow. He offers to take a look. She happens to be on the phone with her special agent fiancé, who advises her to lock up and wait for the tow truck. So she thanks the kindly stranger for the effort, and he reciprocates this gratitude by waiting with her outside, and then aggressively inside the vehicle. He hammers her into submission and then drags her off. She wakes up later in a bag and finds her assailant dressed in a manner that may indicate that he has some sort of idea what she may or may not have been up to last summer. She makes a final plea, but he is uncaring and begins the gruesome dismemberment. When a young lad finds a bag of miscellaneous body parts in a field, a massive search of the area ensues, in which we learn the old chief was her father. Also, the image of her head rolling along the ground is forever seared into her fiancé Soo Hyun's brain. Through the mourning process, we see Soo Hyun filled with desperate anger, seeking forgiveness for both his absence in her time of need and for his subsequent plans for brutal justice. Before embarking on this journey, he takes a leave of absence and borrows a GPS location device before heading to the chief's house to pick up a copy of the case file with information on the four main suspects. The first two are found and dispatched easily enough, and even through genital mutilation and other harms, neither admit to the act. The third one, though, is a little more slippery. His only address is his parents' house. Soo Hyun poses as an insurance agent hoping to draw out some info, but Kyung-chul's parents are a bit too cagey, and they know he would never care enough about the family he abandoned to take out an insurance policy. However, his son does know where his dad hangs out, and is willing to tell due to his ongoing bitterness. Soo Hyun soon visits and finds an abundance of evidence of his nefarious deeds. To remove any final doubt, he also retrieves his engagement ring from a secret murder room. We then see that by day, Kyung-chul is a mild-mannered school shuttle driver, taking the kids where they need to go. The police arrive to have him called in, given the string of assaults on their suspects. But he was just getting into some alone time with a young student, and when the wings come on, he's off company time. He's preparing his assault and murder plans in a greenhouse among the exotic botany, but is interrupted by the whisper of his name. He comes out and the two predators have a moment to size each other up. Then they go at it, but Berserker Rage is unable to come out on top against technical precision and agility. Soo Hyun ends up putting on a clinic in how to inject violence into another man's body, although only to a point. A distant point, but no further. After having a remote GPS microphone capsule crammed down his gullet, Kyung-chul wakes up in his pit with an envelope of money, which is just too rich for him. He ditches his van and manages to find a taxi with a fare that's willing to rideshare. He quickly recognizes this is a robbery cab, but being a wolf, he sees it as nothing more than a den of sheep, and soon has the interior absolutely drenched in blood. He uses stolen clothes from the trunk as a disguise to pass off his injuries as sports-related. After getting patched up, he's feeling awfully spry, and he takes to making the front office nurse uncomfortable. He circles around after leaving to confront her in a back room, where he's interrupted again by Soo Hyun, who hits him with some hardcore poetry before severing his Achilles tendon. After being treated and dumped, Kyung-chul is onto the fact that he's being tracked somehow. He drives into the night, resolving to do better at their next encounter. He arrives at a hotel under the control of a couple of fellow sickos, one of whom partakes freely in human flesh. He confers with them on his situation, and they delight in the idea that Kyung-chul created his own monster. Later, his host goes to prepare his next meal, but is startled by a silent visitor. Now in full hunt instinct mode, Kyung-chul senses his arrival, so when Soo Hyun is preparing some ironic justice, he pops in to even the odds with his shotgun. This forces Soo Hyun to dip out and circle back to the upper floor where he arms himself. The secondaries get their licks in, but he makes them pay for it. Then he tosses out some fish hooks, regaining the upper ground from which he beats his victim senseless. In the aftermath, we come to see all of this is just an attempt to understand. He manages to make it out, but this larger event has attracted the police and puts them firmly on his trail. Meanwhile, as he gets treatment for his wounds, his numbnuts buddy lets slip that the geo-tracker is deep inside Kyung-chul's bowels. So upon release, he hits the pharmacy for some diuretics. Then he reveals into the mic that Soo Hyun's fiancé was pregnant before vowing revenge. Upon finding a public restroom, he forcibly ejects the device from his back mouth and then disgustingly inserts it into some poor young chap's front mouth. After finding some transportation, Kyung-chul calls police to notify them he's running some errands and then will be turning himself in. He visits the old chief's home to administer a beatdown that he hopes Soo Hyun will feel, and he leaves with the chief's other daughter. The scene is secured and Kyung-chul calls the inspector to speak with Soo Hyun and taunts him before going to the pre-described location where he intends to turn himself in. But Soo Hyun is there, car, and he pulls a Jackie Chan so he can make off with their prize without missing a beat. And now is when things get raw, my friends. Soo Hyun gives Kyung-chul the opportunity to repent, but he feels no fear nor remorse. Realizing there's nothing left to take, Soo Hyun leaves him in a precarious position, in which if he fails to keep the door closed with his chompers, he'll die brutally in full view of his family, which he does. Soo Hyun then walks away, maybe having gotten what he needed? What? Website? Why, yes, I do have one. Go check it out to find out how you can support the channel. And a huge thanks to my donators memorialized in the Hall of Headshots. I Saw the Devil is a brutal and compelling tale of revenge and its consequences. While the events depicted could be shrugged off as unnecessarily gory, the film exhibits a level of artistry and storytelling that raises it above mere torture for shock value. If you enjoyed the video, I'd love for you to become a part of the channel by subscribing. Thanks for watching.